Okay, I'm going to make up some cables for my Suntech panel. As you can see, the cable and connectors that they came with were these MC4s. You see the red cable coming here with this style connector, and then looking down there, which I'm sure you can't see, but there's basically a wider socket in there, and then the negative lead from the panel looks like this, and there's basically a male pin in there, so the mating plug would have a female contact in it from the cable. So let's go make up some cables. Let me first talk about wire a little bit. If you go with real solar wire, the stuff that comes off the panel it's called UL 4703, and it's 10 gauge wire, and you can buy that. It's about 80 cents a foot, but it's very good. It's meant for outdoor conditions in the sunlight. It's not flammable, and it's meant for higher voltage. If you don't have a big string of panels with a lot of voltage, high voltage requirements, you can get by with using what I bought here, which is 10-2 landscape wire, which is rated, instead at 600 volts breakdown, it's rated at 150. The stuff I have here is actually rated at 300 volts. I'm only going to be running 17 volts off my panel, so that's not a risk. What you want to have inside is a lot of individual copper strands, and because electrons flow on the top of the wires, not down the middle of them. So the more wires you have, the less resistance there will be per foot. Now this landscape wire is about 50 cents a foot, but you get 2 wires, so it's a 10-2. So it's the equivalent of 25 cents versus 80 cents per foot. And so if you're, in my particular case, I'm going right into some conduit, so it won't be exposed to the sun. But this stuff is actually outdoor rated. It's meant for underground use. It's sunlight resistant and water tolerant, but it's really, not rated to be outdoors above the ground like a normal on top of a roof kind of a setting. So it's more maybe the do-it-yourselfer would look to use these, but for a serious installation, you should go with the solar wire that's UL 4703 rated. Okay, either way, we're going to still strip the wire the same way and kind of put on our MC4 cables the same way. Okay, so here's what I got here is the parts of equivalent to what's on the solar panel itself. End cap, strain relief, little rubber washer, little female contact, and the female connector, and then the positive piece that will go on the or the positive lead that will go on the cable will be this style, a male type pin, the rubber O-ring, the strain relief, and then the end cap. The first thing I'm going to do is going to strip the ends of the cable. Okay, I'm just using my regular cable cutters, and you can see there's a 10 gauge stripper on the edge here, and then we're going to just use the 10 gauge crimper on the top here. Now there is a special stripper and crimper for these connectors that the professionals are required to use, but I've done this with just this basic tool, and it works just as good. You just have to be very careful that you don't cut any of the copper strands, and that you do a careful job of crimping the wires inside of the contact. And if you do that all well, it goes together, I would say, just good. So let me strip that off and show you what that looks like. Okay, you can see I've got both the positive and the negative. We cut about half of an inch of the insulation off, and I didn't even kink any of the copper. And so now it's a matter of crimping these into the correct contact. So let me do that. Okay, the first thing I did is I slipped over the outer pieces and I lightly crimped on the contact onto the end, making sure I don't have any of the copper strands sitting outside of the barrel. And now I'll crimp it down tight. And that's what it should look like when it's done. Now I'll insert it into the other piece here and finish it up. When you actually slide it in there, there's a little, you'll hear it click into place. So it's in there nice and tight now. And it's good and centered. You probably can't see that, but all it's a matter now of just snugging up the parts and screwing it together tightly. There it is. Nothing to it. Okay, got both half done. Best part about it, no professionals. Let's see how they work on the panel. Alright, so I got the correct one on the positive here. There, they just snapped right into place. Positive on positive, negative on negative. And they're pretty easy to take apart if you put some pliers in there, pinch these two, it'll pull right back out again. But it won't just come off on its own. You have to actually put a tool in there to get those apart from each other. So anyway, good to go. Hope that was helpful. Take care.